Look, going through a divorce is stressful enough without getting hit by financial surprises. So today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions you'll probably face. What's the real cost of getting your home appraised? We're going to break down all the numbers for the Springfield and Buffalo, New York area so you can actually budget with some confidence. If this is you right now, then you are in exactly the right place. Figuring out what your shared home is worth, man, it's a huge financial step in any divorce. Getting that appraisal cost right from the very beginning can save you so many headaches down the road, and that's exactly what we're going to clear up today. All right, let's not beat around the bush. The number you need to lock into your brain, your starting point for a standard single-family home appraisal in 2026 is $625. Now let's unpack what that number really means, and, just as important, what it doesn't mean. First step, the bottom line cost. Let's take a closer look at that $625 figure and see why it's really the foundation for your entire budget. So you can think of this as the basic price tag for a standard appraisal on a pretty typical single-family home. It's the most common scenario, and it really acts as the anchor for all the other costs we might have to talk about. So where does this official-sounding number actually come from? Right, so where does this number come from? It's not just pulled out of thin air, I promise. It's actually based on a solid official source. The baseline comes from something called the VA fee schedule. Now, I know that sounds super official, right? Well, it is. It's an official list of fees that the federal government publishes for the entire state of New York. And because it's a government source, it's a highly reliable benchmark that most professional appraisers in the Springfield and Buffalo region use as a guide for their own pricing. Now, this baseline can change a little depending on your property. You'll see here that a single-family home and an individual condo both start at that $625 mark. But for a manufactured home, the fee bumps up to $675. And if you've got a small multifamily property, with 2 to 4 units, the baseline is $825, which makes sense because it's just more work to appraise. So, you've got your baseline, but, and this is a really big one, a divorce appraisal is rarely what you call standard. The legal demands are totally different, and yeah, that can definitely increase the cost. Let's get into what I call the divorce difference. And this right here is the heart of the issue. A standard appraisal on the left, that's for a bank, for mortgage. It's usually just a simple form. But a divorce appraisal over on the right, well, that's for the court. It has to be a detailed, legally defensible report, and crucially, the appraiser might have to testify in court, which is a completely different service. So what specific things drive that cost up from the $625 baseline? Well, things like needing that much more detailed report for court, or having the appraiser testify, which is usually billed by the hour. Tight deadlines can mean rush fees. And sometimes you even need a retrospective valuation. That's finding out what the house was worth on a specific date in the past. Each one of these things adds to the final bill. Okay, so knowing all of that, how do you avoid some serious sticker shock? Let's get into the most practical part of this, how to actually control the costs. It really just comes down to asking 3 key questions right up front. Here they are, 3 simple but absolutely critical steps. First, clarify the report type. Ask them straight up. Is your quote for a standard report or for the detailed version we need for court? Second, ask about all the extra fees, like their hourly rate for court testimony. And finally, get everything in writing. A detailed quote protects everybody and, most importantly, prevents any nasty surprises. We've covered a lot of ground, so what's the one key takeaway you really need to remember from all of this? This is it. Start your budget with that solid $625 baseline. But always plan for the extra costs of a report that's built to be presented in court. Remember, this document is being put together for a judge, not just for a bank. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You now have the numbers, and you have the right questions to ask. You are empowered. The only question left is, are you prepared to have that clear, informed conversation with your attorney and your appraiser?